All right, what's up, everybody? I am super pumped for this interview. It's been years since I've interviewed this man, but every time I do it, he fires me up. I get more and more excited. You will not be disappointed. The last time I interviewed Jeff, he was the #1 real estate team in the state of Nebraska. Today, he's pivoted. He is the fastest growing team in the history of real estate. And we're going to talk about how he is navigating NAR. He also has a tremendous network of mortgage professionals that he helps grow. He's got the biggest database in real estate that I'm aware of, aside from Keller Williams. I think Keller Williams has more than 500,000, but or 500 million, right, Jeff? You have a 500 million.
Yeah, in my hyper local location, our database is twice as big as how many people are registered in the city limits. So, but we have almost a little over 500,000 data points in my database. So people want to talk data. I like to have those conversations. And I know you're a huge data guy, Dave.
Yeah, no, we power data, we live data, and we do believe the future of lending is being a data-driven, process-driven mortgage advisor. And we believe that that data-driven mortgage advisor needs to turn realtors into data-driven real estate advisors, which I know we both drink the same Kool-Aid and both believe the same thing.
I'm singing in your choir, baby.
Yeah, let's go.
Thanks for having me back, Dave. It was great to see you. I got to see Dave in Scottsdale a few weeks ago. He always is meeting with people. If you guys haven't seen Dave behind the stages, he doesn't just go sit by the pool. He is a worker all day from sun up to sundown. It was a different person every 30 minutes. I was very impressed with your networking, and obviously it says a lot about your personality wanting to help people.
I love it. Yeah, no, I think that might have been my all-time favorite event because the time we are in the market, the fact that we had mortgage and real estate innovators all in the same place, you were on stage.
Yep.
I thought it was a spectacular event. Did you feel?
And we're referring to the gathering. It's put on by Housing Wire every year. Great event, great organization. And we were really grateful to be on stage this past year. We were on the year before as well. And everyone's scared right now. And I know that's going to be part of our conversation. It was the largest turnout they had ever had, over 800 tickets sold in an environment where people aren't wanting to go to events. It was great to see all the leaders across all the verticals, tech companies, ancillary businesses come together in Scottsdale. And this is just 2 weeks ago. So it's great to connect with you there as well. And I'm looking forward to the conversation. And thank you for having me back on the podcast.
Yeah, right on. So before I just ask you specifically, hey, what are you doing to prepare, not navigate, but to crush, to gain market share? Give a few more bullet points, because I just want people to realize just what you've accomplished. So, give a few more bullet points.
I get to brag as a real estate agent.
Brag.
So just right out of the gate,
no more than a minute. You get like 60 seconds.
So take everything I say, divide by 2, add 7, because we all know how realtors are. So I got my license long time ago, 2006. I like to say that because it's really not that long ago. Built the #1 team in the world at Berkshire Hathaway in 2019. Was doing about 750 transactions a year. But one of the things that was, I think, my claim to fame was I didn't just stop there. I started bolting on ancillary businesses. So we grew in 2015 a title company, mortgage and insurance. We launched in 2020. Launched a coaching company, Elite Real Estate Systems. I have their hat on. And that was launched in 2017. And we thought then that people needed the expertise to be able to take their business to the next level and increase profit so that they could build wealth by deploying that profit, which would provide them freedom. And the biggest challenge, Dave, as we all know as leaders, and we know as those listening today, is it's really hard to do a lot of things at once. You can't do everything at once. You have to have great people and great systems and processes into place. And so instead of just teaching people how to do it, we decided to partner. And so launching in 2023, we have a platform called Powered by Elite, and we're now partnering with real estate teams, brokerages, mortgage companies, title companies, insurance companies, investment companies, and property management companies. And we help them have ownership in all of the other verticals that are part of their vertical. So that's us in under 60 seconds.
Yeah, you killed it. So for every mortgage professional, tune in. This guy's going to, give some real value. He's going to be sharing best practices. And he is truly one of the I'm not going to call him a realtor. I'm going to call him a real estate innovator, a housing innovator. He's going to share like, what is the winning code to win going forward? So let's talk about like what are you doing to navigate this, and what advice are you giving to the people that follow you? Because you've got a podcast, you've got
Yeah.
a lot of agents in your network. What's
Yeah.
the game plan?
Yeah. So we have a podcast, like you mentioned, the team building podcast. It's on iTunes. It became the #1 podcast on Apple Podcasts. If you search the term team building. And the reason is today, Dave, unlike, other than you, myself, there's a handful, I'll say on less than two hands. You could count up how many people are really leading the industry. The problem is a lot of the people I see that are leading have never done it before. So I always call true leaders and posers. Posers are people that teach people how to do something they've never done. A true leader teaches someone how to do something that they've done before so that someone can walk in your footsteps. And as a leader, we should always be continuing to walk so that we can give people a new footstep to follow in. But oftentimes people get stuck or they choose to stop progressing. And you only can lead those that follow you to the point in which you've gone. And so right now, more than ever, if you're a loan officer out there, you should find someone who's already navigated the murky waters that we're in today. Nothing is new right now if you've been in the business since 2007, 2008. We're just in a cycle. And yes, it's unique. And yes, it's different. And yes, we're now dealing with something new. There was this thing called the World Wide Web that was invented in the 1980s for the military that became available to the civilians in the 1990s, which totally innovated the way that business was done. And people said, oh my gosh, how am I going to make money? Every decade, something new enters that creates disruption. And that's amazing. If you're a leader and you want to win when there's blood in the street. You just have to figure out before everyone else what the solution is. And we have some answers today.
So love that. Great framing. What are some of the specific strategies, that you're deploying? And since you know mortgage and real estate, most of our audience is mortgage professionals who want to be leaders to realtors.
Sure.
So you could give real estate, like, hey, this is what top realtors are doing, but do realize that the majority of the people that are on our channel, they're mortgage advisors.
Sure. So first, there's two differences I see with people that are experts at anything. One person's the expert that provides the service. The second person is the person who brings in the business. Oftentimes, the person great at bringing in the business isn't the person great at servicing the business. So the first thing I'd recommend to everyone listening is first, you need to know which one you are. And second, you need to find the best person at the thing you're not. So if you're a great salesperson and you suck at doing loans, go hire a person to be your back office to do the actual work of working with the client. Dave, I know you're already an expert at teaching this, but if you're the person that's great at the back office and you don't like to talk to people, go hire a front-facing salesperson. When I launched my team in 2011 for real estate, it perfectly segues or parallels into building a mortgage team. I knew right out of the gate where my strengths were and where my weaknesses were. And so I started creating leveraged roles. So just like team building specific to building a real estate team, we use all those same strategies in building our mortgage team. I have 10 full-time loan officers. Our intention is to be in all 50 states. Right now, we're currently licensed and operational in 12 states across the country. Our brick and mortar home headquarters is in Omaha, Nebraska, and it's called Exarban Mortgage, which is Nebraska backwards. We did that name so we could get a federal trademark and scale nationally. All the same systems and processes that I've proven out as it pertains to real estate agents from a lead conversion strategy standpoint, we've implemented with mortgage lenders. So what I have to share today isn't sexy. It's getting back to the basics. I call it OG tactics or, old school tactics of getting belly to belly. I'll reference a few books today that will help shape some people's mindsets if they haven't read them. One is 7 Levels of Communication by Michael Mayer. Michael wrote the book. It's got to be 10 plus years ago. I reference it all the time because one of the things I love that he did was we think about ABC, always be closing. The dysfunction today is everyone's closing for the profit. Everyone's closing to get the loan. Everyone's closing to get someone to go get a contract executed and use them to write their loan. You have a different goal of closing depending on what part of the relationship you're in. And so I love to liken it to dating. If you're dating and you meet someone on an online dating app, you're probably not inviting them to your house for the first time you meet them. That'd get a little awkward, even if you invite them for dinner. People don't want to be invited to your house the first time you meet them. You have to build rapport and build a relationship. So you might start by texting, and then you might do a phone call. Then you might meet for drinks. Then you might go to dinner. The same parallel applies to mortgage. The same parallel applies to recruiting loan officers or recruiting staff. So outlined in that book, it'll talk about how to use email marketing, how to use radio, how to use billboards, how to use texting, how to use face-to-face, how to use a phone call, and what your goal should be within each of those communication channels. Once you've learned how to communicate and what you should be closing for, it will highly inflate or increase your conversion. And so what we've tracked for 15 years perfectly in the back end of our database is how many calls someone makes. And a call for us is an opportunity to talk to a decision maker. That's our main KPI. How many times do we try to talk to a decision maker? We call that a call. That could be sitting in an open house with an agent. That could be going to a mastermind event where there's lead opportunities to ask for referrals. So what we've tracked is that we know it takes 150 calls to get one closing. And the numbers are the same for loan officers. It takes 150 calls to secure one mortgage. And I know I need to make 5 calls to get one contact. And I need 10 contacts to get an appointment. And who do I go to an appointment with? Only interested people ready to go buy a house? No, everyone. Because you don't need to worry about that person using you for a loan ever. What you need to do is train every person in your database to refer business to you. That's the number one goal. Every person in your database has 7 opportunities a year within which they can be influential to send you a referral. So 90% of your time when you meet someone should be training them to refer to you. But the best way to get them to refer to you is to use your services. So of course, if you have the opportunity to write a loan, you should do that. And I see a lot of dysfunctions in that people are spending time closing on the wrong thing. And then when they meet someone, again, closing on the wrong thing and not educating people on how to refer business back to them.
So, by the way, it's been too long since I've interviewed Michael Mayer, and I couldn't agree more on the 7 levels of communication. So do get that book, guys. It's a must-have. I've interviewed Michael many a times, and it's just been too long. So I got to reach out to that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'd like to do before we get into too many, like call it the 7 levels of communication, although I do think he covers strategy. I think that there's a real flaw, at least going forward, for one, how realtors pick their loan officer, and 2, what their value prop is. So tell me if you align with this.
Okay.
So prior to the NAR settlement, a realtor had really 4, maybe 5 criteria in how they picked a loan officer. Do you close the loan on time, so I get paid on time? Do you get 5-star reviews consistently, so you're a good reflection of me?
Yep.
Do you reduce transactional drama? Because let's face it, 2 kinds of deals with problems and deals with solve problems. Do I dig you? Like, do we vibe?
Like no trust.
Those are the 4. And then sometimes, hey, what's the economic relationship? Are you, paying for my Zillow leads? Are you, how are you helping me from a biz dev standpoint? And those are the 5 criteria pre-NAR settlement. Now,
I'm excited to jump on this. I'm so excited to share my opinion.
I can't wait. So let me finish. By the way, I think those are still 5 table stakes to play the game, but I think there's a new one. It's like, how good are you at being my conversion partner so that I get paid the most money I can possibly get paid and help me get that buyer's agreement signed? So that's like a new, hey, loan officer, how are you going to do that? Like, what are you going to do? How are you going to do it? And then one more thing. So by the way, you agree with all that so far?
I'm a panther in the tree ready to pounce on my meat. Let's go.
Okay,
100% everything you said is accurate. They're not all scaled equally.
One more frame.
Let's hear the last thing.
So the last frame is realtors, buyer's agents specifically, their value prop is local market expert, negotiation savant. They have this trusted network of lender, realtor, title, home inspection that you can't live without mine. Mm-hmm. And then they have, 20 years of business, I'm number one, they've got all this stuff, but I never hear them talk about, I help you create wealth with real estate. And so I have this feeling, and I know you are going to validate it, but I want to hear your version of it, that the mortgage professional that can show a family how to achieve buying the home, build wealth with real estate faster, and achieve financial freedom, which is the real American dream, homeownership with financial freedom. Like, the realtor and loan officer that can tell that story the best is the realtor and loan officer that's going to win going forward. Thoughts?
Yep. So you say mortgage advisor. I've always said agent advisor. I've had a podcast since 2015. I started getting interviewed in 2014. You had said in my introduction, we were the fastest growing team in history. We went from 70 deals a year that I was selling as an individual agent back in 2011 to 700 plus deals a year 6 years later. So that's pretty fast. We scaled really quickly. Our team went from me to 25 to 30 agents. And we learned a lot in that 6 years. We were crazy about numbers, crazy about data, like I shared earlier. Big on relationship building. All the things you said apply to real estate agents. They apply to insurance agents. They apply to title. All the strategies that you teach apply to all the verticals in real estate. None of this stuff is rocket science. If you go pick up a book, Freakonomics, I could list 100. They're all talking about the same stuff. So the thing that bothered me the most, and I'll let you have a little piece of the mind of a realtor. I was a top producer my whole life. I sold 50 doors my first year at 23, making a 6-figure income. I say none of that to brag. The moment that loan officers saw that I was a producer and I was right there in their office and they knew me and they thought they could get to me, what do you think happened? As everyone listens, you know what happened. They came and gave me a gift at Christmas, and they sent me little cards in the mail, and they asked me to lunch. And just like a financial planner at Northwestern Mutual, they just kept hammering me and hounding me. And what did they have to offer? All the things you said, except show me the money. I could not find loan officers that were willing to show me the money. And this is 2011, 2012. When I started to launch my real estate team, I thought, you know what? I'm tired of taking all the risk when I have all these loan officers who say they're going to bring me leads. That's what I wanted. I wanted leads because leads I could convert to money. But how does a loan officer feed 50 agents if they want 50 agents feeding them? They don't have 50 leads. Most don't. And so I decided to not rely anymore on anyone else helping me. I decided I would get people to partner with me to generate leads. And just like what you said, and I 100% agree with the framework of step 6, and it's genius you're bringing this up because I don't hear very many people talking about this. Everyone part of the transaction should be working together. The dysfunction of the industry is we don't have platforms that put the lead in one location. So the mortgage company has the lead, the insurance company has the lead, the title company has the lead, the home inspection company has the lead, the home warranty company has the lead. We're all in a different platform. So what we started doing is we took all of the top platforms and we used those top CRM lead magnet websites and backend CRM solutions as the unique platform for each of our verticals. But we use Monday as our operating platform, and we have open APIs across all of our verticals that feed the lead into Monday. So Boomtown had a big outage a couple of weeks ago. No big deal. Every lead, all 500,000 of my leads were in Monday. Everyone's freaking out. I'm like, oh, I backed them all up. Why would you not back up your leads? You're insane. Like, why wouldn't you have your leads in another platform? But most importantly, when you look at the consumer experience, we now know across all verticals who's talking to the lead, when they got talked to, if they're getting the right messaging, if they're getting the right texting, the emailing, if we're closing the right way based on where they're at in the transaction. And I think we've really missed our mark in that. The second piece is the show me the money. So that's where I wanted to get to. So I invited the top loan officers in my market, and now we do this nationally, to do strategic partnerships, which were previously called marketing service agreements. Russ asked us to call them strategic partnerships. You can still do those today. And that's where we do a rev share in the lead gen costs. We would never take $1 from a mortgage company. We'd have them pay the third-party site like a Zillow or Boomtown or whatever the site was. Why loan officers are rolling their eyes right now saying that doesn't work is because you found the wrong people to work with. You needed to find the team in your marketplace that had already proven lead conversion, who you approach and they say, we already have it. And you say, well, that's great. You already have it. What if you could 2x, 3x, 5x the leads coming in, and then you could add agents? That's what everyone's going to want right now. So instead of doing strategic partnerships nationally with elite real estate systems, we own a national mortgage company. We've started partnering with top real estate teams and brokerages and having them buy into ownership of our mortgage company. So completely flipping strategic partnerships upside down. We said, let's not just get paid for leads. Let's just give them ownership. And I knew that that's what agents wanted because that's what I always wanted. So if you want to make a big splash in the industry, I'm giving you away my special sauce. Make everyone a partner. And I can talk strategically about how you can do that legally. I've been spending hundreds of thousands of hours and money in figuring this whole thing out the last 5 years.
Well, I know you were on stage at Housing Wire. I mean, I want nothing but big success for you. You are a true industry innovator. But I want to make sure everyone, whether or not you go and, change your business model, do joint ventures like that, figure compliant ways to do that, every single loan officer can become a strategic partner. And you can become an advisor that's showing their customers, and Jeff, let me show you. I'm going to show you throughout the call, I want to show you two things, get your thoughts on it.
Yep.
And I know that, I don't know exactly all your loan partners, but I know many of them have used MortgageCoach in
Yep.
the,
We are right now.
yeah. And so, this is a first-time home buyer, and typical loan officer would have delivered something like this. Here's your rate, here's your payment, here's your cash to close. By the way, guys, that's been good enough to close a loan in the past. That's not good enough to get someone to sign a buyer's agent agreement and going forward, especially when you have loan officers that are doing this. They're like, hey, home buyer, you're renting. Here's the fee worksheet loan officer deal. Here's some creative strategy. Again, I'm not proposed. This is actually dated. This was last year, so the rates are a little off. But the idea is show an investment, like a 2-1 buy down, points buy down, seller buy down. You show something that creates an affordability edge. And then in this particular case, this was a first-time home buyer that was gonna rent out 2 of the bedrooms. First of all, Jeff, what's your take? I believe that most home buyers don't really understand how home appreciation with a leveraged mortgage works. Like they get it conceptually, but they don't realize that this is the greatest investment on earth, is have a mortgage and a piece of real estate with appreciation. It's a multiplier. And so show them how it works. Show them that, hey, not 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 5 years from now, at a very conservative appreciation rate, you're going to have, in this particular case, $100,000 in net worth. And these numbers are conservative. So first of all, if you're the loan officer that's showing that, that's value. That's value to the consumer. And then not everybody really understands how compound interest works. So be the one. In this particular case, he said, hey, what if you took the $1,200 from renting out the 2 bedrooms and invested it at 6%? Again, very conservative. Look at the wealth creation. Oh, so when you're a loan officer, that part of your pre-approval process is netting this out. We even have a lot of mortgage coaches right now that are showing how to actually, in case the buyer or the seller doesn't have a buyer comp, how could that agent commission be funded? And they're showing, we call it the commission gap, TCA. And they're actually showing the buyer, hey, here's different ways in which you can fund your agent commission. So to me, what are your thoughts that no matter how you play it, if you're a fee worksheet loan officer, you're showing up to a gunfight with a knife? And
the parallel in residential real estate is there were agents when I got my license in 2006 that would show up and they'd have one piece of paper, which was the CMA summary page, which showed maybe 15 properties that were active, pending, sold. And that was their presentation. Walk the house, say, hey, beautiful home, and here's the piece of paper. Right out of the gate, no matter what, whoever's listening, all you have to be is better than your number one competitor. So whatever your number one competitor is doing, if you're just a notch better, then they're going to choose you over your competitor if you get an opportunity to show them what you have to offer. So we built right out of the gate the best presentation we possibly could. We took a 2-hour, we did a 2-hour in-home presentation, that's start to finish, to get a contract signed. Everything you just showed me, Dave, is exactly what I want to see as a consumer. And I want to know as an agent that I'm partnered with a loan officer that's empowered with technology like that to better educate the clients of mine that are interested. Not everyone wants to see all those numbers, but the ones that are interested, I love that it can show you what additional revenue you're generating and then what you could do with that revenue. Of course, they should reinvest in more real estate. And you as the loan officer should say, hey, and that agent that's helping you buy house A will help you buy house B, C, D, E, F, G as investment properties with the revenue you're generating from your cash flow investments. I own about 200 doors myself, valued at over 30 million. And I just started doing that in 2016. So in less than 8 years, I built a $30 million portfolio, mostly with bank money. And it's appreciated by $1 million a year the last 3 years without us doing anything. And this isn't Omaha. This isn't Scottsdale or California or somewhere where we see insane inflation. We also don't get to see the huge deflation as well that can occur in some of those locations. So everything you said, I 100% agree with. And every loan officer has to have that to be able to compete in today's market.
Yeah, I completely agree. And then I want to show another thing that we're doing and have you I'd even like, I interviewed Jason Mitchell recently and I showed this strategy and then he gave a script. And given that you have such a big database and you've trained so many loan
Yep.
officers and realtors how to get after a database, I want to show you something. And then I'd love, one, your impression, and then two, your scripting. So
Cool. Let's talk about it.
here we go. So I think we're kind of gone from the days of where most loan officers' databases look like this in realtors. Most databases have signals now. You know, in the mortgage space, a lot of credit inquiries, listing alerts, equity alerts. And I just think these are table stakes at this point. Like if you don't have this, like you're 6 years behind. And, you know, but what we are trying to do here at Trust Engine is, you know, the problem with those is one, they're late. Like everybody's got them. How can we get more predictive? How can we get to the sweet spot? And so our CEO was at ran the cloud for Oracle, and our chief product officer was the customer data platform, led the customer data platform for Microsoft. And when he was at Oracle, and they helped Toyota use data to target pickup truck buyers. And they had a number of signals, but the number one attribute was beef jerky. Now that's to buy, you know, a Toyota pickup truck. Let's look for beef jerky buyers. And so what we are trying to do, and where I think the world's going, like, what's the beef jerky for a move up buyer, for a move down buyer, for, oh, there's a first time home buyer in this household. This looks like a reverse mortgage. And so that's, you know, getting predictive with data. And these, by the way, these are just examples of different reasons to call that we're predicting right now. Like we are predicting first time buyers, move up buyers, move down buyers. And when we predict that, we're putting the engine to work. Like we are sending a digital interaction for that customer.
I have a lot to unpack on all of that. So that reminds me of Freakonomics, and I love looking at those leading indicators. And of course, you've got your leading and your lagging. The question always becomes, what's the active role that I need to play as a human that I can't rely on technology for? And when people are worried about AI isn't going to replace people. People are going to be replaced if they don't know how to use AI.
Well, so no, AI people that use AI will replace people who don't.
Yep. And it's just like computers. So computers didn't replace people. I'm on a computer, you're on a computer. But if you didn't know how to use a computer, you would be replaced. So AI is going to be the same. We're working right now on a beta project with AI that's going to be able to text, email, call if people give us approval when they register in our squeeze page, which you all should be doing this as soon as possible. Is when you bring data in, get permission to allow your AI bot to talk to the lead. And I see Dave right now is recording this with his AI bot, Fathom. That's the same AI bot that I use. Fathom's awesome, by the way. I don't get anything for saying that. I just have personally loved using it. It's free on Zoom. But you're going to have AI talking to leads. And the question is just going to become, what should they be talking about based on where the lead's at? In terms of where to find people that are thinking about a mortgage, I have always tracked the same term, and I kill Google PPC. I pay $1 a click in Omaha, Nebraska, and that's the going rate in most places. It takes me 10 clicks to get a lead, and I convert 2%. And our loan officers are doing that or better. So when you talked about the framework number 6, lead scrubbing, I want to revisit that. Every lead a loan officer is scrubbing is a realtor lead. It's a home inspection company lead. It's a home warranty company lead. It's a title company lead. It's a property and casualty insurance lead. Why are you spending all the money on lead gen? Just like a realtor goes out and seeks strategic partnerships, you as a loan officer can get strategic partnerships. We shouldn't be taking on all these costs ourselves. Let's create a community that shares in the leads. The title company gets the title part, the mortgage company gets the mortgage part, and let's be serving each other first off. As far as the Google PPC tag words, buy, house, insert name of city, #1 search term when someone's thinking about getting a mortgage. If I'm downsizing, upsizing, selling, pretty much no matter what the term is, they need somewhere to live. All these people doing this need a place to live. So I average 25,000 registrations a month on my platform in Omaha, Nebraska, and I get 25,000 new visits a month. So we have an average of 50,000 visits a month. We've had tens of millions of visits to the website, and I can watch, Dave, leading indicators, and I can use predictable analytics to determine what are some of the triggers. I've been on the Boomtown Classic platform since 2011. All of my loan officers are on our Boomtown Classic platform along with us. And then they have their own platform that they move the leads into once they've highlighted the lead or had a conversation with the lead. Certain triggers we're looking for. Did they pull up a mortgage calculator? Obviously. Did they print off a listing? Did they share the listing with someone? Did they come back to the website within 24 hours and look at the same house? All of those triggers are showing up on our Boomtown platform under they call it a Boomtown Now wall. And so I have my loan officers going in and working all of those predictable analytic Boomtown Now wall activities, because we assume that those are the people that are going to be most likely to buy or sell a house. I think you're muted right now, Dave.
I said, I absolutely love that. And what I'm going to show you next, like, we're not a CRM. We can actually wrap around your Boomtown experience, add, augment our predictions with yours. But imagine the email went out, and at the same time the email went out, it goes into our mobile app. So let me show that to you real quick.
Check it out.
And I want to see your thoughts on this. So this app, loan officer logs into it one time, and it's rated by most probable to need a loan or sell a home. So of all the opportunities, it's going to rank them from high, medium, low. Also, when they come in, it ranks them by date, and it's using the in-app alert. When I click on one of these, there's an email, a text, a call. There's some leadership. There's some like, hey, what to say? There's a link to scripts. I'll show those in a minute. There's a link to a mortgage coach, the consumer experience. If the consumer has started engaging in that creative, that digital experience, we have all the data, between what you have in Boomtown or whatever CRM, we have all the data. We're showing in the palm of a hand opportunity. We're showing explicitly why do we think this is an opportunity, all in the palm of the hand. And then one of the reasons why a lot of loan officers don't call, like, what do I say if I call? We tell you.
Yeah.
What do I say if I text? What if I say if I email? It is simple as copy, click, and boom. We're literally making it so that I showed this to a top producer the other day, and he's like, oh, I love this. He's like, I never like to waste a red light. So it's like red light moments, just
One of
super quick. What are your thoughts?
What I love about what you guys have done is you've systematized the process. So anyone listening, you're never going to get to that multi-million mark and live the life of your dreams, which is being able to use your time doing whatever you want because you build something that's scalable without having systems and processes like what you just shared, Dave, where someone listening could take a team of 5 or 10 and require everyone follows that same process. The dysfunction in every vertical is that you have people go out and they're in the wild, wild west thinking they need to recreate the wheel when the wheel's already been perfected. It's turned into a hovercraft. Why would you use a wheel at all, right? And you've built that. You guys have done a phenomenal job. I know we're using all of your stuff. John Major has been implementing your
Hey, John Major, what's up, brother? Guys, make sure you follow John Major. He kills it on social.
John Major Mortgage.
John Major Mortgage. He absolutely is a mortgage coach and just a great guy. Make sure you check him out, guys.
Thanks for that shout out. So yeah, man, I think back to the lead scrubbing, which I don't think we pushed that enough. I think that what's missing, and I don't want us to just like gloss over it. What's missing is everyone is waiting for everyone else to help them. And then we sit at home at night and we're angry that realtor we took to lunch 6 months ago, and it was a $27 lunch, just referred 2 deals to our competitor. And how dare them? We offer better rate. We offer a better process. We have a better service. And I texted them last week and I haven't heard anything back. And now we're angry. Did I call the lead? Did I follow up with the lead? Have I met them in the last 6 months? Like, there's so much we need to do. Extreme Accountability would be a great book I'll recommend, written by Jocko Willing, who's an ex-Navy SEAL. He actually was part of Chris Kyle and David Goggins' world. Great book, really summarizing it in the Cliff's Notes version. Own it. If you're not getting the success you need, it's because of you. you're doing the wrong thing or you're not doing it the right way. And there's so many better ways to do it. And I think that's what you've got with Dave and the other experts in the industry. If you'll just simply do what they say, they know. They've been around a long time. You don't need to recreate the wheel. But I love how you've systematized everything, Dave, giving people the scripts and empowering. And that doesn't mean those scripts are what are best. That's just a great template to work off of. And in time, you'll be able to add your own verbiage for your own area or make it a little bit more customized for the person you're talking to.
Yeah, I want to put a little exclamation mark on, and it's Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. I'll also put a link down below to my interview with Jocko. It is a time for extreme ownership. I have a lot of conversations with realtors and loan officers that are worried about things that they don't control. They're, and I think it is a time for extreme ownership. Like, what are the controllables? And it'd be a good book to mastermind with realtors around right now. It's good, good to reread that book. Well, I believe it's the greatest leadership book of our time. I really do. I think it will go down. It will be one of those books that's talked about 100 years from now, because it's just such a foundational leadership book. But if you haven't read it, read it. So, hey, as we get towards the end, I want, feel free to tell people how to follow you, how to learn more.
Yeah.
But, I want to get some closing thoughts, and then I want to make sure anything you want to make sure gets shared during this call gets shared.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Just first and foremost, all I care about is that people succeed at the highest level. True leaders serve their followers by empowering them to be just like them. I felt like for a long time, the brokers I followed and the CEOs and other verticals never wanted me to be like them. They wanted me to be a cog in their wheel, a mouse on their hamster wheel, or a hamster on their wheel, if you will. And it always kind of frustrated me as I look at leaders and think about the type of person I want to be in my life, how I want to show up. I want to show up in a way where I'm trying to be the best at something because I want to help someone else become the best at that thing. And in so doing, it elevates me not only as a leader and forces me to become a better version of myself, but I am compensated for my expertise. I am compensated for my time. So I'm keeping a percentage of their success. If people succeed in your world, you should succeed with them, not out on an island. So first and foremost, I want people to hear me know that people sometimes say I come across braggadocious or proud. I'm very proud of what people have chosen to implement in their business because of my thought leadership. And Dave, I'm sure, feels the same way for what he's brought to the industry. Dave and I would never have to work another day in our lives. We're doing this to help save the industry and encourage people to keep churning along. We haven't even talked about the NAR settlement because honestly, it's out of our control. I have nothing I need to say about it. If you want to ask me, I can give you an opinion. My opinion is always take care of people. People are going to need mortgages. The NAR settlement is going to affect buyer's agents to a huge degree, more so than that's getting talked about. But buyer's agents can list houses. So they're going to need to start focusing on listings more so than on buy sides. But buyers are going to contact the listing agent, and the listing agent's going to refer a loan officer to the potential buyer. Everything's going to be okay. Everyone's going to still get to continue making a living at doing this. To find me in my world, I have the Team Building podcast on every platform. If you look up Team Building on Apple Podcasts, we come up first. Our company is Elite Real Estate Systems. We offer a group coaching, one-on-one coaching, and a powered by platform. It's $1,000, $2,000, and $3,000 a month. We do power all verticals. So we do work with mortgage companies, title companies, insurance companies, property management companies, investment companies. And we want to help serve our entrepreneurial followers by helping them increase profit, build wealth, and create freedom, which is what you had said earlier, our goal for the clients that we serve. Help them increase profit, build wealth, create freedom. We have a nonprofit. That's the vision of our nonprofit. And we're all here together. No other loan officer in your market or nationally is your competition. I don't know why so often we get so caught up. And I'll tell you why. I do actually know now, over the course of my last 20 years of gaining wisdom, being a father, going through all the things I've gone through. The reason we're judging others is because we're actually seeing them as a reflection of ourselves and what we haven't done. When you're angry, someone else is succeeding. It's because it's making you ask yourself and become self-aware. What could you be doing better and where have you fallen short? So you actually are insecure when others succeed. And that's why you don't like the people succeeding at a higher level. So let it motivate you to become a better version. And why don't you ask that person to lunch? Most of the time, me included, when people are hating on me, I'll say, ask me to lunch. I think you're going to find out I'm actually a pretty fun guy.
I know for a fact you're a fun guy, and I can't wait to have lunch, dinner. We did see each other at one of our favorite restaurant.
Toca Madera.
Toca, or how do you say it?
I think it's Toca Madera. If I'm wrong, someone message me
Toca,
on
yeah.
private
By the
message.
way, shout out to Toca Madera, killer restaurant in
Amazing.
Scottsdale, Arizona. I go there every time I'm in town. Let's make sure you and I go there together one of these
We
days.
ordered our table. I had a bunch of my people on my team, and they ordered I'm blaming them. It was, what is it? A bone-in ribeye
Oh,
that
yes.
comes out on like a clothes hanger, and they light it on fire. $360 steak, which is absolutely ridiculous. But everyone convinced me that would be our appetizer.
That
It
was a
was.
good call. You got a
I
baller
think that
group
was
there.
about when I ran into you. I'm like, they just ordered a $300 steak.
Yeah, that was good seeing you. Well, hey man, we got to do more together. I mean, we cannot let it go years until we create content together.
Yep.
And just seeing the mission you're on, increase profits, grow net
Wealth.
worth,
Yep. Build your wealth, baby.
build
Yourself the freedom.
wealth, achieve financial freedom. Guys, that's the goals. Also, if you don't mind, I would love to introduce you. Did you get to meet Kristen Messerly with First Home IQ?
I don't know. Maybe.
So
Maybe
it's a nonprofit that is helping loan officers and realtors basically take that message to high school and college age kids. At the age of 18, they're going to start getting sold credit cards, and they need to know how to not blow it. And by the age of 21, old enough to drink, they should be old enough to know how money works. And they should be old enough to know that, you know what, you should buy your first home as fast and quickly as you can. Yep. And they should know house hacking strategies. Hey, you can buy a duplex, a triplex. Yep. You can buy a 3-bedroom house and rent out a bedroom. So anyways, it's a nonprofit dedicated to next gen home ownership. So would love to introduce you to Kristen if you're game.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be great. And I just thank you again. I know it's awesome to be able to come on here and share what I can share. If there's anything anyone needs from your audience, I'm more than happy to give you my time. My handle on Instagram's @JeffMCohn. Feel free to slide into my DM.
All of this will be down below, guys. So as we wrap this up, if you have not already subscribed to our YouTube channel so that you're getting updates when we put new content in there, subscribe today. If you are not already in my mobile club, go to savageinsights.com. I've got links to top 3 links are what's next and what do I think is the most valuable content that I'm creating. And then I think it's either the 3rd or 4th one down. It's how to get into the mobile club. So check it out. This is a wrap. Jeff, you are the man. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Dave. Mortgage coach.
All right. Take care, everybody.